inflammation, most of the worst diseases on this planet, have one direct cause, and that cause is inflammation. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the cause of inflammation and how to fix it with things that are already lying around in your house right now. So if you want to know how to stop chronic illnesses and how to put an end to the different forms of inflammation that are leading to balding, your skin being broken out, and so many different ailments going wrong in your body, then stick around to the end of this video because we're getting to everything. Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe here to my channel and then click on that bell notification so you're notified every time I post another video. In this video, we are going to talk about inflammation, its root cause, and the long-term negative effects that it can have. And if you stick around to the end of this video, you will know how to cure it all. Okay, so let's go. The disease itself is never the exact culprit, but so many times, even when it comes to balding, like alopecia, the first thing you want to do is attack the alopecia. You want to attack the balding, make the hair grow. But no, there is a process, and the balding itself is the very last step. But before the balding was inflammation, right? But then that's not even where we start. You start at the step before that, which was the irritant. What caused the irritation that caused the inflammation in the first place? When people book one-on-one consultations with me, that is what we are getting to the bottom of. But I want to help you right now in this video get to the bottom of it yourself. So let's go. Now, if the initial irritant isn't unchecked, and if the initial irritant keeps happening, then the inflammation will persist, and the inflammation will increase and graduate to a disease, right? Because remember, it was just an irritant at first. It was just an irritation, then that irritation went to inflammation, and then that inflammation led to a disease. So when we're talking about something like dementia, right? Dementia is inflammation of the brain. There was an irritant way back, and most of the time when they link the irritants of dementia, they'll link the irritants to like sugar and certain over processed foods and different things like that that cause inflammation of the brain. And when the brain swells to a certain point, it becomes dementia. That is an example of the disease, dementia, the inflammation that caused the dementia, but there was an initial irritant. We need to tackle the irritant. When it comes to, especially because I live in America, so that's what we're about to talk about. I live in America, and the American diet is a walking trigger for different forms of inflammation. So when we're talking about hidradenitis suppurativa, arthritis, anytime you hear the itis, like itis, that's like itis, we made that up though, that's like inflammation of your gut when your mama made too much food. It's not really a good thing. The itis at the end stands for inflammation. So again, we have to find that source. Even certain types of dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis. Seborrheic dermatitis is an inflammation of the sebaceous gland. It is an inflammation of the sebaceous gland, but there was an irritant first that led to the inflammation, right? And once you got that inflammation that is seborrheic dermatitis, it will then morph, if it's not handled, it will then morph its way into a different form of alopecia, right? A different form of balding, a different form of a dermatitis where your follicle starts, like where you start to go bald, right? So CCCA and all of these different forms of dermatitis, right, are all inflammation. Dermatitis, all of these are inflammation, and there was a cause, right? So again, when I'm making certain videos on YouTube and stuff, and I'm saying don't grease the scalp, shampoo your hair, don't co-wash, and all of these different things, that is because most of the things that I say not to do, you guys, are the leading causes. These are the triggers. These are the triggers that cause the inflammation that lead to the different forms of dermatitis. Because again, remember, the term titis means inflammation. All right, so for most people, like for example, I have so many clients who have seborrheic dermatitis, but then when we go down the line and we go from the seborrheic dermatitis, which is now the inflammation, right? that was caused, like I said, the seborrheic dermatitis was caused by inflammation, and that inflammation was triggered by them oiling their scalp. One of my clients, she's cool with me sharing this. So her form of dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis, which was formed, her trigger was greasing the scalp with almond oil. She like drenched her scalp with almond oil, then put a plastic cap on her head, went to sleep. It wasn't wet, just completely drenched her hair in oil, put a plastic cap on, went to bed. And then ever since that day when she woke up, like her scalp has just never been the same. Then by the time she booked me, she had seborrheic dermatitis. Well, the trigger was her packing her scalp full of the oil, putting the plastic cap on her head and going to sleep. That packing her scalp full of that oil triggered inflammation within the sebaceous gland, and once that inflammation kept going, then at this point she has seborrheic dermatitis. That's the way the inflammation works. So that is why I'm always like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I'm not trying to point fingers, not trying to call nobody stupid, but it is always the trigger, the inflammation, and then the scalp disorder that you now have, right? So that's why finding a cure on an external source is not going to fix an internal problem. That is why I'm always saying, no, you don't go get a hair product to put on the scalp, because once you have seborrheic dermatitis, once you have dandruff, once you have CCCA, once you have these different forms of alopecia that cause balding and things of that nature, the inflammation has already got to the point where it has caused some type of itis within the body, right? So this is when you have to go back to the trigger, fix that trigger, turn everything around, and then you're good, right? So it's really hard, I know, to fix a lot of these triggers, because when it comes to the foods that we eat, the American diet is full of omega-6 fatty acids, and omega-6s, they create inflammation. Omega-6s create inflammation, but omega-3s, they alleviate inflammation. They get rid of some of that inflammation. So make sure you head over to my blog post where I give you a clear list of omega-6s and a clear list of omega-3s, so you know which foods that you need to eliminate and which food eliminate or consume in moderation, and which foods you need to like go super hard eating, right? Because that is super important. But with the American diet, once you look at what omega-6s are, I'll put them on the screen. When you look at what omega-6s are, this is pretty much our diet in America. So it makes sense for everybody to have the same type of itises, the same type of arthritis, the same type of hidradenitis, and all of that stuff, because all of these things are different forms of inflammation. So that leads me to my baby here. Oh, Serenity Spice. Serenity Spice is one of the blends that I worked so hard on to put together for inflammation. All right, so I have two blends for inflammation. One of my top sellers, chicory root, but that's a different type of inflammation. So watch the video linked in the description box below to learn more. So this herbal blend contains ginger, cardamom, black pepper, and ginger. And with the cardamom, black pepper, ginger, and cinnamon flakes, oh my god, freaking powerhouse. And that is what Serenity Spice is. It is an inflammation powerhouse. So let's talk about it. Cinnamon has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that make it amazing for inflammation. Cinnamaldehyde, which is the active compound in cinnamon, is a freaking powerhouse. I hope I said that right. It rolled off good. I don't know. And that is what is the main powerhouse within cinnamon. Now, it's rich in polyphenols and flavonoids and acids that make this a powerhouse as it pertains to getting rid of inflammation within the gut. These antioxidants help to neutralize free radicals within the body, and free radicals are basically bacteria that's going around unchecked. They don't got no apartments, they don't pay no rent, they just walking around. And when they unchecked, when you have a bunch of free radicals just floating around, what ends up happening is you end up getting different diseases because they just going around starting stuff. Cinnamaldehyde is one of the key ingredients in cinnamon. It is the thing that is responsible for the beautiful aroma and flavor. It has been studied for a bunch of benefits, but the main one that we're talking about today is its anti-inflammatory benefits. This is amazing because studies have shown that it inhibits the pathways of certain inflammatory properties within the body. So it literally limits the path and the journey that certain things have to follow within the body to create inflammation in the first place. So if it cuts off the pathway, the inflammation never starts. It also has properties that helps the body to reduce its production of inflammatory molecules within the body to begin with. Cinnamon has also been shown to reduce insulin sensitivity within the body, helping to regulate blood sugar levels, which is amazing. This isn't just great for diabetes, but inflammation is normally linked to insulin, right? It's normally associated with insulin resistance within the body, so cinnamon helps to regulate it. There are 4 more properties of cinnamon that are so freaking amazing, so head over to my blog post to check them out. But let's move on to cardamom. This one is a powerhouse of anti-inflammatory properties as well. Cardamom has the ability to alleviate gas and bloating within the gut. It helps to alleviate any discomfort within the digestive tract. So by alleviating the gas and the bloating, it helps you to have ease. Also, if let's say you pooting a whole bunch and you just like blowing the place up and it's kind of embarrassing and stuff and you can't control it, drinking some cardamom tea is freaking amazing because it helps to alleviate the gas a little bit. It helps you to like lower the low pocket so you ain't pooting, popping tops and blowing everybody up. It has mild antispasmodic effects, so it's freaking amazing as it pertains to the digestive tract. If you're having a problem going to the bathroom, check this video in the description box below where I break it down. But if you're having problems going to the bathroom, a lot of times like the muscles within your digestive tracts are having like spasms or tightening up, and cardamom helps to alleviate all of that. It's like a muscle relaxer for your booty hole. Also, I missed this about cinnamon, but cinnamon has antimicrobial properties. So cinnamon goes into the gut and kills all of the overrun bad bacteria in the gut that does not belong. So by ingesting this blend, you really have a powerhouse that goes within the gut and balances out the amount of good and bad bacteria there. It is like food and a whole power pack charge, like a Red Bull for your gut. So remember, a lot of times people don't know this, but when you have gas, it's because you're having spasms in your digestive tract. So cardamom, it goes into the by ingesting cardamom on a regular basis, you help to alleviate those spasms within your digestive tract that are causing the flatulence, is making you pooty and stuff. You calm everything down so you ain't blowing everybody up. It is also a great digestive aid. Cardamom helps the body to digest the food that you're putting in the system. This makes for a healthier, little poo-poo session. So the reason most of the time that you have gas is because undigested food is just sitting in your gut, like fermentating and doing all type of nasty stuff, and that's where you're getting the gas from. But with something like cardamom, is making sure that all of your food is getting broken down so it's not able to sit there and decompose within your gut and produce gases that you gotta let out when you poop. It also has compounds that act as a cooling effect on your gut, potentially alleviating completely the uncomfortable symptoms of bloating. Ginger is another one that is known for its amazing antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. Gingerol is the amazing active compound within ginger that does all of the backbreaking. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant source. I freaking love ginger. You will notice that most cultures, especially a lot of different cultures, use ginger, and the main reason that they use ginger is freaking amazing at tackling inflammation within the body. One thing that I also want you guys to notice is only really in America that we want to supplement everything. Like in other countries, they just use the pure plant, the pure root. So if you're watching this right now, I know you might want to supplement something, but try not to. Like, just eat ginger, like just ginger itself, or get some Serenity spice. Make sure you go watch this video where we talk about inflammation. And when we talk about inflammation, remember, with inflammation there is a trigger, the inflammation, and then the actual disease. So when we're talking about something like arthritis is inflammation of the joints. So studies have shown that people who ingest like ginger on a regular basis, and it's a part of their regular diet, they're able to reduce the forms, they're able to reduce the inflammation within their body and the inflammation within their guts. But of course, this is something that you have to do and intake with a normal. These are things you have to do, and all things that you have to take into consideration with a healthy diet. You can't eat crazy and then be like, oh, I'm gonna get some ginger and it's gonna take away my inflammation, because remember, there is a cause, right? Most likely the cause is the different things that you've been eating, the different things that you've been ingesting into the body is the cause for the inflammation. So you have to tackle that trigger first. Make sure you check this video, linked in the description box, and watch that, and then you'll get what I'm saying. Remember, ginger salt is freaking amazing. Ginger salt literally produces like little fighters within your body. I'll put the name of those fighters. It creates fighters within your body that literally attack any form of inflammation before it's even able to be caused. So it tackles the inflammation at its source. Ginger is another one that helps the body to alleviate the presence of free radicals that end up causing more inflammation throughout different parts of the body. Remember, a free radical is something that is unchecked. It is a bacteria. It is something in the body that is unchecked. So when it is unchecked, it can go in and cause havoc and different inflammation on any part of the body. So by you going in and tackling these free radicals, you drastically eliminate the form of inflammation within the body. And of course, there is even more on ginger on my blog post, so make sure you head over there. And lastly, in this blend is pepper. Now, pepper is something that people are like, what you need pepper for? Well, we don't just put pepper on our food for the taste, boo. Pepper is so freaking important because without pepper helps with absorption. All of the different herbs within Serenity spice, it's like really great. It's all fine and dandy, but if your body isn't able to absorb all of these nutrients, then it really doesn't matter, right? And with pepper, pepperdine, and peppernine and pepper, it ends up, I think I said it wrong again. My brain, this is the third video I'm recording. Pepper helps the body to absorb all of the amazing benefits that live within this blend. For example, whenever you use turmeric, you need the pepper in turmeric, or the body will not be able to absorb the different things that the turmeric holds, right? So the pepper is just the icing on the cake, the bow, and the ribbon on the package for Christmas or for whatever holiday you celebrate. So if you need help getting rid of that inflammation, make sure you click the link in the description box below and get your hands on some Serenity spice now from Simple Apothecary. It is a powerhouse. I am telling you, you will be done with your inflammation, along with my dandelion root and chicory root. Freaking powerhouses. All right, so again, check the links in the description box below. Shop Simple Apothecary, and please do not forget to head over to my blog and read this whole entire blog post, because there is only so much information I can give you on this video. But over on my blog, you guys, there is so much information, so much free information, things that you don't even have to pay for. And if you need help getting rid of your inflammation almost instantly, go ahead and shop the Apothecary. I love you guys so much, and until my next video, I spent a whole lot of time on my blends, and they're freaking amazing. Like, this is an amazing blend. Like, I can guarantee you, you won't add 1 drop of sugar, 1 drop of creamer. It's nice if you want to make a little like chai latte, you can add like some cream in here, or like some creamer, and it'll be amazing. But you do not need it. As you can see, it's gone, and I'm about to give me some more. But I love y'all. Until my next video, I will see you later.